Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back, of course, to the Time Bomb channel, and we are going vintage again today. We have this fine little beastie. Is the Breitling Ref 3865 from way back before the 1980s. I think it's possibly from the late 60s, early 70s. This particular watch, and yeah, sort of as a skin diver esque design. I mean, I think skin diver designs were all the rage. Them certainly, if you look for watches of that era, there are many generic models that appeared from a huge number of manufacturers. Many of them now defunct. I mean, so that's great news if you're going to be choosing for one and you're on the hunt. You've got plenty to choose from. My take on the skin diver, as opposed to the standard diver, is that they tend towards the sportier design specs, less water resistance, smaller case bodies, fewer grams of steel, and for many, I think the benchmark is the early Longines design. I mean, even if you dislike it, I think it's hard to ignore its place in watch history. Whereas to me, Breitling, on the other hand, not really a brand that I would associate with that particular genre. I mean, specifically the skinny divers. It's just not something that I've ever seen a huge number of their designs. So this then one was offered for a review, and I sort of said, well, yeah, it'd be brilliant to have a look at it because of that rarity, I think. So yeah, enough rambling. Let's kick off with some specs. So we're looking at 36 mils across. But I think those extended lugs really do give it a slightly larger wrist print or presence than just that standard 36. North to south, it's then 45 mils, and as you can see, a really clean. Love that singular curve across the case body there. It's about 12 mils deep, obviously with that domage on the top there, giving you a little bit of extra. And then the lugs, again, standard for the era, are 18 mils. The watch is also then quite light. I think as well, that might have been impacted by the strap choice. Obviously, because you can see on the dial, this particular variant then is the one that comes with the baton hands. So I'm getting a lot of oodles of reflection here from that crystal. So baton hands, and then you have this one, which is the slightly busier minute markings on the bezel. Doing my digging around, I found others that come with then full arrow hands, and then just a more reduced 5-minute scale on the bezel. Talking of the bezel, let's have a quick look at it. It does move. It's bidirectional. There's almost zero space to get a grip on it. It's okay. I'm obviously being understanding, that it's very old. But my God, I'm so glad that bezel design has improved. This one is, to me, it's just a little bit dysfunctional. It could be that it just needs removing and a little bit of work doing underneath. But I mean, yeah, it's so fine. That coin edge on the on there, and there's so little purchase area, even across the top of the lugs. I don't think it's specifically designed to be used, in timing. Curious to see as well, as you may find with other watches of this ilk, that the your date magnifier is actually integrated within the crystal there. To me, it makes it a little bit less of an eyesore. But the downside to that is that you pretty much need to be bird's on, full bird's eye here to get actually a clear idea of the date, because that window just does get lost. The digits get lost within it. The brushing and the polishing on the case body is a little bit difficult to see now, obviously, again, because of the age. But I really do like those extended lugs out of here. I think that design is absolutely fantastic. It's almost helmet-like. Really nice. It just sort of adds so much more presence on wrist. Let me throw it on wrist while I'm discussing that. I think as well that the crystal up top is going to add plenty of dial depth, vision wobble around the edges. I mean, yeah, my wrist is 7.25, and I don't think that those 36 really look like 36. I think it sits much bigger than that. Obviously, I'm just throwing it on here now very quickly on camera. I think it works well. I normally frown at 36mm watches. That one I think really works quite well. And so I was just talking about the crystal there. So yeah, you get lots of distortion and vision wobble, etc. But my God, it really does reflect a lot of light. My apologies for the poor vision in that sense. Other things that I like about it, I really did enjoy the font, the digit font. I think it's really spot on for the whole design. It just works brilliantly, and obviously then add with it that symmetry of omitting the three but replacing it with a date window. Yeah, the four levels of script below there, I think that may have been copied from another watch brand, but I'm not going to go into that one. um, the case back as well then is also very well wristed, but we could just see our reference point here. And again, quite nice deep in cut there. That works well. I think, yeah, looks good. The strappage to me obviously looks to be aftermarket, but again, that's perfectly understandable considering the age of the watch. I think it would be dubious to imagine that the original Tropic that these came on would be usable still to date. The loomage, well, certainly for an old horse, this one pretty much holds up. However, as you can see, and we can get a little closer here, that most of the loom has come out of the hands. But again, purely understandable, or really understandable if you consider the age of the watch. A venerable, so yeah, indeed, I think in conclusion, it's a venerable old wristwatch nonetheless, and I think it really does look the part. Yeah, very impressed. So yeah, if you've got an old skinny diver, vintage skinny diver, please do drop us a comment down below. If you've got a favourite, let us know so that others can have a dig around and look at them. And yeah, appreciate your time and your view as always. Until the next vid, this is your host, the Bombardier, signing off. Cheers, guys.